What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. So this is your review for Young, Famous, and African Season 2, Episode 5. So listen, we start this episode off where we left off with them arguing down to the gym event, and Swanky is just going off. I'm really confused by a lot of what happened in this episode. I don't know if it's bad editing. I don't know if it's stuff going on behind the scenes, or if Swanky is just overdoing everything. But anyway, he was really upset, and he felt like everybody was coming down on Bu Yang, and they were not defending her. And he was like, I just didn't understand, like I'm her friend. Like why isn't anybody? Y'all are just taking one side of the story. Y'all are just listening to Lewis' side of the story. Y'all don't know her side of the story. And I'll be honest with you, I really think this came down to you expected people to be upset at the fact that Bu Yang didn't want to be on the show and nobody cared. That's how I took it. So Lewis got up and left because Lewis was like, yeah, what you're not going to do is keep talking to me like I'm crazy. Like, I'm a grown-ass man just like you are, and you're not going to keep talking to me crazy. So we see him and Lewis and Connie talking off to the side, and she lets him know, look, don't worry about Swanky. Like, Swanky be doing too much sometime, but we understand, we get it. Like, don't worry about it. And he was like, I really appreciate that. He said, but something else that I've been kind of dealing with is, I'm looking for a surrogate. Like, I want to have a baby, and I've been looking for a surrogate. And, Zari was talking about it, because that's the other thing that came up at the little polo match, is that Diamond had been telling Fanta that Zari wanted another baby by him, but wanted to do it through surrogacy. I guess not the old-fashioned way. And so he was like, maybe me and her could do some research together. Maybe we could do some research together. Or maybe she could become my surrogate and I could become her surrogate. First of all, she already said that she wanted Diamond to be the daddy. So that wouldn't work. Second of all, sir, what? Like, you don't even know this woman, like, out of nowhere. You just decide that because she said she's interested in having another baby, that maybe you should fit in there somewhere. Lewis, look, I think that you're being bullied in this whole Bu Yang situation, but the rest of this, I'm really side-eyeing you when it comes to the rest of the situation. Anyway, moving on. So, we see Swanky meeting up with, Kelly to talk to her about it. And he basically was like, I just don't understand why they're taking Lewis' side of the story, and that's messed up, and why aren't they respecting her? And again, I just think it boils down to the fact that you expected people to bow down to her, and they're not doing that. And I think Connie said it at the beginning. Connie was like, listen, you're in a group of people that are all accomplished. They all have their own thing going on. Like, nobody is going to bow down to her just because she is, the queen of whatever. Like, we all got our own thing. We all have our own situations. And, like, we're not bowing down to her. So, anyway. So, then we see Connie meeting up with Nadia. And Connie tells Nadia about what Lewis said about looking for a surrogate and maybe it being Zari. So, they're having that whole conversation. Connie said that Swanky is mourning the death of his friendship with Annie, and he's trying to basically put Bu Yang in the same position he had Annie, and that's why he feel how he feel about the people not defending her or whatever. Like I said, I just think it boils down to, you made this grand announcement, and he was like, oh, the people are going to be upset. Like, you really thought it was going to be a situation with the announcement, and nobody cared. And that, I think, bothered you more than anything else, that they were like, okay, next. So then we see Lewis taking Fanta out for a date. They went dancing. Now, she the queen of dance hall, but say she can't dance. How you the queen of dance hall, but you can't dance? She said, well, all I can do is twerk. There's more to dance hall than twerk. And then she said, my twerk is average. So you're not even a good twerker? Girl, there's a whole lot to that. There are a lot of layers to that I have to explore. There's a lot of layers to that situation that I need to explore. So, it seems like it was a cool date or whatever. But But she's like, I'm really cool with Booyang. I'm really cool with Swanky. I don't want nobody to feel like I'm playing both sides of this. I really wish that y'all would sit down and talk and clear the air. And so he was like, maybe I'm open to it. He was like, but I just don't understand what Swanky's beef is with me. Like, why does Swanky have such a problem with me? I'm just not understanding. So he said he was willing to talk to Swanky, but he just doesn't know where that's going to go. So they decided maybe we'll go out on another date, right? It wasn't as bad as she thought it was going to be. So maybe they'll do this again, kind of thing. So then we have Ndele and we have DJ Naked meeting up. And they end up having this whole conversation about him and Zari breaking up. And again, unless it's some editing or there's some deleted scenes, I don't see how they ever started dating. He was flirting with her. He liked her. He let her know he was interested. They, met up a few times, but I didn't see where they were ever really a relationship. And he feels like he was just sort of used in the game that Zari and Diamond play with each other. And he said it was very hurtful because for him it was real. Like, he really had feelings for her. And he really wanted to try to see if that he could do something. But he feels like basically he was just a pawn in their little game. And I'm like, but you inserted yourself in that game. Like, she didn't come to you. You went to her. So, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't feel like it was that deep. But again, maybe there's some deleted scenes that we didn't see. Maybe some conversations were had, but it didn't look that deep to me. It looked like you were interested. You flirted. She entertained the flirting. I don't know. So then he starts talking about how he really is serious about settling down. He's been single for like 3 years, and he's ready to be in a relationship. He's ready to find a person, and he wants to be happily married. So here's where we get a little more information about Mr. Ndele. And I just got finished saying we weren't getting much from him. But here we go. Okay. He's got 4 children by 2 different women. And what it sounds like is he played ping pong between those 2 women. So he was with his first baby mama. They had 2 children together. They broke up. Then he got with the second baby mama. They had 2 children together. Then he got back with the first baby mama. But then the first baby mama and the second baby mama didn't get along, which basically led to things just not really working out. So now one of the baby mamas has become like his best friend. She's a really good friend of his. And then the other one, he wants to see if they could try to make it work again. I think he's decided that she's the one, that he really wants to be with her. But he has to try and get them all on one page. That's what the rest of this situation is. So we see him meeting up with Annie and with Tubaba. Now, I don't mean no harm. Those are the last 2 people that I would ever ask for relationship advice for various reasons. So Sebasto and Shanice, I think, are the 2 women. So Sebasto, if I'm saying that right, is the woman that he wants to try to see if he can work things out with. Okay. Shanice is the one that he's really good friends with. And what found out was that Sebasto felt like Shanice was crossing boundaries and doing things that were out of pocket, doing things that were out of pocket, and that's why their relationship sort of, crumbled, okay? So it's Zari's birthday. She's having a big birthday party. So we see him meet with them, and we see him meet with Shanice and and tell Shanice that, he really wants them to try to get on a one accord again. He wants the 2 of them to try to figure out a way to be cool again, cordial again, maybe even friends again. And I don't see that happening. Okay, I don't see that happening no time soon. Okay, in this whole scenario. Now, while Ndele is navigating the waters of his past loves, we see Connie meeting up with Zari to tell her what Lewis said about wanting to possibly be a surrogate for him. Now, Connie's not being messy. Lewis actually wanted her to sort of talk to Zari, test the water, see if Zari would be open to the idea, if that's something that he might be, may particularly be interested in doing. So it wasn't really, she wasn't being messy in this case, because, we know that Connie can be messy. But in this one, I got to be clear that she wasn't being messy, okay? Rosette. I made up a whole name. His second baby mama is Rosette. I don't know where I got Shanice from. It's Rosette. Rosette. Y'all don't put it in the comments that her name is Rosette. I just said it. I cleared it. I fixed it. Her name is Rosette. So anyway, Rosette, and listen, let me tell you something. Rosette is a piece of work too. We're going to get to Miss Rosette, okay? So it is Zari's birthday party. And again, she's having this great event. Listen, she asked everybody to come out. I guess she asked them to come out in their African's finest regal wear. And baby, they look good. Everybody showed up looking absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they looked good. Do you hear me? But Ndele decided that it would be a good idea to invite both of the mothers of his children to Zari's birthday party with Zari. So first of all, I think you was being messy because you got this whole thing with Zari and you and your feelings about how that went down. That's number one. Number two, why would you, if you want them to find a way to get along, what made you think this was the place to have that conversation or to initiate that? So then he doesn't let either one of them sit next to him. He's telling them where to sit, which again automatically pissed both of them off. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean I can't sit next to you? Like, I'm your guest. You invited me here. Why would you have me sitting all the way on the other side of the table away from you? Then he wants the two of them to sit next to each other, which of course made it even more awkward. So I'm like, Ndele, you are creating a whole moment. You had to know that this wasn't going to go well. You had to be in your mind creating a scene. You are moving towards a scene because you have to know that this is not going to work. This is not a good idea. And of course, you're making everybody else comfortable because everybody else is at the table looking around like, what in the hell is this? So Swanky shows up being Swanky. Lewis shows up. And Swanky immediately is being nasty towards Lewis, making little cat snide little comments, little snide remarks. And then Lewis is like, you know what? So I'm gonna get to Lewis. I'm gonna get to the two of them in a minute. But while this is going on, for whatever reason, Rosette said, all right, if you want to have this conversation, let's have a conversation. So she starts talking to Sebastian, whatever. I shouldn't say that. That's that woman's name, so I shouldn't say whatever. But she starts talking to her about why you don't like me anymore, what happened between us, why did our friendship break apart? And she said, because you don't respect boundaries. Like, you don't respect the fact that, I was dating him, we were living together, you would call him to come over and fix things at your house and do things for you, not understanding that the dynamics of your relationship had changed. And that was my problem with you, is that you didn't have any boundaries. Now, Ndele was like, well, she's like my friend, and she would call me to do stuff and come over, and she's the mother of my children, and we're friends, so why wouldn't I go over there? And so my thing is, so then your beef is with Ndele. Your beef isn't with the fact that Rosette called him to come over. Your beef is with the fact that he went. Because here's the reality. She only gonna call if she knows she gonna get a response. So you mad at Rosette, and you really should have been checking him. Because her calling ain't the issue. Him answering is the issue. But that's just my 2 cents. So the two of them get to going back and forth about, people respecting boundaries and who calls who and what time you calling and why you here so early and so late when you know he's in a relationship and you know he's with me. And it got to be really nasty. And I was like, why did you think this was a good idea? Unnecessary drama. So then they started talking about who was still married while they were dating and who cheated on their husband. I mean, it got nasty. And then Ndele is sitting on the other side of the table like, oh, shit. Yes, sir. Oh, shit is right. You created this. You put this situation. And you clearly have been telling one what the other one had going on for her to even know who was married to who, when they was married, and who they was with or not with. So then Swanky shows up. He still got an attitude with Lewis. Lewis still feels some kind of way about Swanky. I mean, and like I said, Swanky is just giving vibes the whole night, right? So Lewis would go sit down next to Fanta. Lewis is gonna tell Swanky gonna tell Fanta not to sit next to Lewis. He gonna tell her, get up, move one seat over. Okay, that's fine. Put a seat in between the two of y'all. So Lewis was like, wait a minute, what's that about? Like, why are we doing that? And he was like, because that's my friend, and that's where I want her to sit. And I asked her, to sit there, and that's where she's gonna sit. And I was like, damn, so now and that's where she's gonna sit. That's where I told her to sit. So now Lewis is like, wait a minute, that is so disrespectful. Like, it's unnecessary. What are you talking about? So Nadia done told Swanky about the whole surrogacy situation. And Swanky yells it out at the whole table about how Lewis wants to have a baby with Zari. So now Lewis is like, wait, what? Like, where's that coming from? Fanta is sitting there like, hold on, wait a minute. Me and him just had a conversation. We just went out on a date, and we just agreed to go out on another date. Where's this coming from? And Lewis is like, why? How is all my business being spread out there? Maybe it wasn't Nadia. Maybe it was Connie. Either way, somebody told Swanky, and Swanky blasted it. So now Lewis is sitting there looking stupid. Zari is embarrassed. Fanta is looking crazy. And Swanky is, really thinking the whole thing is funny. And the two of them get to going back and forth. And Lewis was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm going to get up. I'm going to leave because I don't really, I don't do this back and forth stuff. Like, I'm not going to play this game with him. I'm just going to get up and leave. So then Swanky said something to Lewis about rolling. Don't you be rolling your eyes at me. And Lewis was like, dude, I have on sunglasses. How do you even know what my eyes are doing? He said, I feel like you are just finding a reason, to just come at me. So he gets up to say goodbye to Zari because he was like, look, I think he just wants to fight with me, and I'm just not a fighter. I don't want to fight. So he got ready to get up and leave. And now Swanky is like, where you going? Why are you leaving? Yeah, because now you don't have nobody to pick on the rest of the night. So you don't want him to leave. You mad at him for wanting to leave because you just want to be able to pick. And so he was like, I think you being fake right now. Swanky was like, fake? Who's being fake? And then he was like, well, I think, you just got all these different personalities. 1 minute you cool, the next minute you not. 1 minute we good, the next minute you not. He was like, you just keep disrespecting me, and you done it twice, and it won't be a third time. Baby, Swanky got his ass up. Swanky cussed him out, called him all kinds of mother effings this and bees that, and called him a nigga and everything else, and then got up and sashayed his ass out. I said, so you didn't want Lewis to make an exit. You had to make the grand exit. You had to make the scene. Now, let me say something. Y'all know I love me some Swanky, but Swanky, you are doing a lot, okay? You are doing a lot. And unless there's some things that are being cut out that we're not saying, because he keeps saying nobody knows her side of the story. Everybody's just taking Lewis's side. Everybody's taking Lewis's side. Well, then tell us what her side is, because from all we see, all her side of the story is that she got to the event, her room wasn't ready, and she left. I don't understand what we missing. But anyway, that was the episode, child. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.